That didn't go as planned. I gotta check these things, you know? Oh, are we gonna come back on? Yeah. Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm A. Joe Neal. This is Beyond Code Live, and yeah, I got the wrong thing on the screen again, as always. You know how it goes. Anyway, so I'm going to continue with the PayPal checkout stuff, and just kind of as a little uh, where we actually no. Before I do that, let me go through the opening thing. So I'm starting this new thing. You can tell me if you hate it, and I just won't do it, I guess. But I'm starting this new thing, which is that I'm going to tell you who to follow at the beginning of the sessions. And my who to follow for today is Jaffa the Cake, which is Jake Archibald. He's a Google engineer, and he is, little known fact, my nemesis. But just because he's my nemesis doesn't mean that he's not a really smart guy, and he is. So, what is it? Jaffa the Cake. This is in the doobly-doo, if you check on YouTube. So this guy right here, and then also there was an episode we did with him on JavaScript Jabber, which was browser standards. Oh, wait, first let me copy that in for those of you that are joining in to watch. There we are. Jake Archibald. He has some pretty darn great articles, particularly on front-end stuff. He's browser, I think he's Chrome, he's on the Chrome team. And then also browser standards rampage. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, there we go. I want the JavaScript Jabber version, though. This one. This is the one we want. Okay. So this right here, if you want to check it out, check it out. It's he and I having a row about web standards. And then let's see, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, I've got to tell you, this session brought to you by our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mountain Dew. Pop it up, my friends. It's time to open focus. Okay, so all that out of the way, let's get to the meat of the problem. Basically, I've been trying to think around how all these things relate, because you got subscriptions, you got plans, you got products, you got payments, and there's webhooks for different elements within the system. There's orders. It just seems that there's too many things, that there shouldn't have to be so many relationships and tables and cross-checking. But as I've thought more and more about it, yeah, there does. And so I'm going to have to create a new table that is the purchase table, and I guess it's going to have to relate it's going to have to relate to payments, and then a payment may relate to a subscription. That's the way that it's going to go. So we're going to have product and user come together at purchase. Product and user come together at purchase, and purchase comes together with user at payment. We're gonna figure it out. But anyway, the money flows in a particular direction, and there's account balances and all that stuff. So we'll get on with it. Feel free to ask me questions, and a little bit of what you missed that you didn't see, because I did this off camera. I'm just going to go to the PayPal checkout. Let's see, at root PayPal checkout. So if you go to this one here, I separated out the product categories because that was weighing me down. I was making my size too big. I haven't republished since I removed, but it was substantial. I think it was about 20 kilobytes is just the category listing. And so I got rid of that and put it in its own separate package, because most people aren't going to need it, the full listing. So I just put it here, optional. Oh, wait. It seems that should not be in, that should have gotten lighter then. Whatever. Anyway, and I also updated this substantially. I added a quick start section. So if you just want to do a one-time purchase, which is what a lot of people want to do, especially getting started out, here's the one-time purchase information. One thing that I am going to add to this that I want to figure out. So let me develop the to-do for the evening. So the to-do for the evening is going to include chargeback, webhooks. Let's see. I thought I had another another place where I was. Oh, this is my PayPal checkout.js. Whatever. Okay, so we're going to have that one. Let me go over here too. Let's see. What's this to do? Is this to do any smaller? No, the to-dos just keep on getting bigger. But one thing that I do need to add is you can get a payment, but you can also get a chargeback. So we got to add that. Oh, hey, David. Do I always stream around this time? Yeah, often I stream in the evenings. Not necessarily always, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll stream during the day, pretty much at a random time. But other days, I stream late in the evening for me. Hey, Mike, nice to see you. Oh, got some other people joining in. Hello. Hello to all of you. I'm AJ. I'd love to know what's your name, what brings you to the channel today. Anyway, I was just saying we have a payment completed webhook, but we can also get a chargeback webhook. So somebody can dispute a payment or something. That's one other thing that I think should make it in the quick start because it's really easy to do, but really easy to forget. And then I just generally, I cleaned up the documentation a little bit. I put a little more documentation about the enums. I kind of would like to make this even longer, but the other problem, I want to make it something you can just Command F for the things that you're going to need if you're doing one-time payments and subscriptions, which is what I'm focused on. The things that you're going to need, I just want you to be able to do Command F and then find it here. But I don't want that to bloat my package size, so I think I'm going to put it in not in the README, but link to it from the README. I hate it when people to link to things from the README, or maybe I could just put up top here lines of code and code size so that you don't get distracted by the documentation taking up a whole ton of space, because I like things to be thin and slim. Of course, we have a dependency there, but that to some degree can't be avoided. Anyway, so let me try to figure out my issues here. I think I did add link examples. I think I did add examples into the README for this. I did not update JS hook. I didn't add the handlers. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the license, but I think very few people are going to really be interested in my version of the SDK when there's an official one out there. But I'm going to experiment with this being I don't know exactly what the model needs to be, but basically segmented personal use / evaluation, professional use, business use, enterprise use. And I'll go over that later when I get it a little bit more worked out. But I'm going to start doing that I'm going to go through a bunch of my open source projects and just see what happens. And if my downloads go to 0, well, so be it, because downloads don't do any good unless you're in the top, not the top 1%, not the top 1,000th. You have to be in the top 10,000th, and I think even higher than that. I think you got to be in the top 100,000th or the top millionth in order to be one of the 100 people, if that, in the entire world that make a living off of open source through donations and that sort of thing. So I'm likely going to abandon that model. So, okay, then over here, what did I want to do? Chargeback webhooks. I got to put this somewhere. It can go under payments. Oh, and we do want to send an email to the user. I'm going to do that with Postmark. I recently found out about Postmark. It is the best mail service. And one of the things that's inspiring me is Postmark, because they don't have a free tier. They have a evaluation tier that gives you 100 emails, which is nothing. It's literally enough to figure out that the service works, but not enough to even onboard beta users, so they have an evaluation tier, but they don't have a free tier. But their cost is really, really low in comparison to all the other mail services. So they just eliminate all the bad users, and the only users they have are good users. So there's a filtering process right out of the beginning, and then those people go into the paid pipeline. So it ends up being a better, cheaper product, or a less expensive, better product. Okay, so we are going to do purchase, and we're going to link. So we're not going to link payment to product. We're going to link purchase. We're going to link payment to purchase to product. on these events. That's what we need to do. And then chargeback webhooks. I want to look into that first. I know this is kind of off the beaten path, but you know me. That's how I roll. And I see some more people are joining in. Hello. I'm AJ. Who are you? Nice to have you here. I hope that you leave comments and ask questions and that sort of thing. So first, I guess let me get rid of some tabs. Oh, I did find out what BA token meant. It's billing agreement token, and it is a deprecated API. It's not used anymore. It's still created on the back end on PayPal's internal system, and it's still exposed if you want to go look at it, but it's not useful anymore. Let's see. I got my node cheat sheet up, and I got this up, but I'm going to take that down for right now. I don't need to look at these billing agreement things because that's the deprecated stuff I was looking at when I finally figured it. And token, it turns out, is actually order ID. They called it token probably because when they first set up the API, the V1 version of the API, when you made an order, you got a token for the order. And then they expanded out into all these other things, subscriptions and plans and product categories, all that stuff. And token just remained named token. But subscription ID used to be called BA token for billing agreement token, and then it got changed into subscription ID or superseded by subscription ID. So that was just one frustrating thing that it's so easy once you understand it. And a subscription has a token because a subscription will create a order. So because a subscription will create an order and that order will create a payment. So all of this stuff, just like I was saying in the beginning, it's all, it's all nested and it seems to be necessary. Okay, so I'm going to go down to webhooks real quick. I'm actually going to see if I can cause a chargeback. Let's see, these are not, this is how to set a webhook. Right, which I probably should have been using. Oh, how to update a webhook? What can we do there? We can say change the path, change the value. Okay, cool. That's neat. So we can update a webhook. I like that. But what I want to look for is actually the list of webhooks, which is somewhere in here. I don't remember where it is. Webhook event types. Maybe this is it. No, webhook events. Dang it. I saw this here earlier. I don't know where it went. Maybe I have in my own documentation page, maybe I have a link to it. Let me see if we go to @root PayPal checkout. One of the things I don't like is that I don't know if I'm shadow banned and that my packages just don't show up for some reason, which would be kind of weird, but whatever. But it seems, unless you put in the exact match, the scoped packages don't show up, even when it is a pretty darn close match, and sometimes even when it is an exact match. Anyway, I think here I had a link to webhook events somewhere. I said you go here to set up your webhook event right there. There's a subscription. Do I have? I thought I'd linked to the documentation for the webhooks, but I don't see it. Maybe I can just search the name of a webhook and then let Google lead me to the right place. So let me grab this and I'm going to do a search for it. Let's see. Webhook event names. API basics. Looks good. Okay. Webhook event names. All right, here we are. So I should also link to this in my documentation. So let me go, what was it? Capture. All right, let's put this in backticks. And then, I kind of do. Let's see, let's say set and handle. This is what I'll do to make it work for me. See webhook descriptions at. There we go. This is how I'll make it work for me. Is I want it to be clickable right away, so I'll put it in there. And what else do I want to do? I want to see if I can create the chargeback payment. Authorization voided. That one I don't need to worry about. Capture denied. I don't know why this would fire, because if you click cancel during the PayPal authorization flow, it doesn't create. It doesn't undo the capture event. So merchant refunds a payment. PayPal reverses. So we want to catch this. We definitely want to catch that event. This would be pretty important. And I think there's one other one, a dispute. Let's see if I can find the dispute. Capture completed, payment capture denied. What is this? V2. Okay, so let's not worry about V1. Disputes. Oh. Okay, so this one. Customer dispute created and updated. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm just going to throw these in there for funsies. Oh crap! Was this missing a break? Ooh. Oh no, it wasn't. I just got confused. So here's a funny thing. In new JavaScript, you need to the syntax for case statements has changed. The old syntax still works. Kind of. You can't use let inside of a case unless you now enclose the case in a scope, because now the case acts as a label, and then you can actually put a scope anywhere. You can nest scopes as deeply as you want. On the Beyond Code channel, I went through this live with somebody where we showed how you can do this sort of thing. This is perfectly valid. This is not an object. This is creating nested scopes. You could always do this in JavaScript, but it didn't have any meaning back in the var days. But now it's required in the non-var days, the let days. Okay, so we'd want to have not, let me put in the other events that we need to handle in here. Just so I've got that in the documentation, and I'll go do it myself a little bit later. So I'd probably want created and updated on the disputes. So, to do, handle disputes, to do, review disputes. Send email to merchant, myself, to check out the dispute. There we go. To review. Now, I'd probably get an email from PayPal in those cases anyway, but it's just something worth putting into the API, I think. And what was the other one we had? I just put it up above, didn't I? So I should be able to go grab it from payment capture reversed. So that would be PayPal did it. And really we should do it when we do it as well. But I don't want to fill this up with every thing. Deduct from user's account. Okay. All right. So that's just some documentation stuff. And I think the next bit is I got to go look at the databases. Ah, that's so good. Okay. Also, I recently found out about another extremely popular payment gateway software. I don't know what it's called yet, because these payment gateway softwares, they're white labeled, and it's very difficult to figure out where they come from. Because what you find is sandbox environments that are public, that don't require login, have the documentation made public. But it's all white labeled. So, and the reseller isn't putting it out on GitHub or whatever. One of them is called Collect. It's by NMI. Another one is called Wallet.js. But there's a lot of things called Wallet.js, and it's not that. Okay, so I don't need to look at this. What I need to look at is my database at this point. So I'm just going to say, yeah. Let's just make a commit here. Docs, add webhook. Dispute and reversal webhooks to quick start, because I think that should go in there. I think that's the kind of thing that it's easy to overlook, but it's so easy to implement, you ought not overlook it. Okay, so here we are. Whoops. And what I need to do is go into my payments, etc., and we're going to add, I don't think we have a purchases yet. So we're going to create a user X payments is going to be purchases. And then I guess it's going to become I guess it's gonna be all three of these are going to be tied in. A payment needs to be associated with a purchase, and a payment may be associated with a subscription. But I think we need to put purchase in here. Also, I want to stop using UUIDs. What kind of lag are you seeing, Thelarn? I can check and see if my CPU, GPU, whatever is crunching too hard. CPU is low. GPU is low. All the resources are down in the 25 to 30% range. So this should be buttery smooth. That doesn't mean that it is, but it ought to be. Let me just refresh a couple things real quick here. Yeah, everything looks good. Just everything's green. I'm all green. Yeah, everything's looking good. All my frame rates, kilobytes, CPU, connections. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing it up, because there have been times when my computer is just freaked out for no reason. Who knows? Probably there's a program on Mac OS that updates contacts, and apparently it's not designed for people that have been using Mac OS for a decade, because if you have 10,000 contacts because you're the type of person that goes to conferences and is on social networks and yada, 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 and you actually have 10,000 contacts, which I think is, I would imagine is pretty normal for somebody that's been on the internet for 10 years and uses it as part of their job. It's called, I think it's MDS search or MDS index, something MD index, something like that. And sometimes that thing turns on and it just kills the computer. And I'm thinking, why is it so hard to index 10,000 contacts? Okay, anyway. So I think I'm also going to take a little maybe tangent here. I'm going to switch to ULID, and we're going to do this as a string. I'm pretty sold on the idea of a ULID. I'm gonna go check and see what we've got on npm for it. It's the kind of thing that I'd probably like to make my own package for. Okay, this one, that's probably, 24 days ago. So he saw the other stuff that's out there and he said he didn't like it. So his might be something particularly good. This one, let's see. Last published 4 years ago. That's a good sign. It's nice and stable. We don't have any indication of how heavy it is. It's got 0 dependencies. That's good. Lots of things depend on it. That's not necessarily a good indicator or a bad indicator. And it looks, let's see. Can we just require this in Node? Okay, cool. So it's going to work. I think I'm just going to try it out. But I'm curious as to why this person published their own. I'm just going to see if I can understand what he's thinking here. It's based off the original. The library adheres to this specification. The original ULID is no longer maintained. Several outstanding compatibility-related issues that were never addressed. This library aims to address those and remain compatible in a larger range of environments. I don't know what that means, but ULIDs are I'll give you the Twitter thread to follow on this. Give me just a second. I think I retweeted this on Beyond Code. Let me check here. So Beyond Code, I try to keep really clean in terms of just sticking to tech and keeping snarky comments to a minimum. Well, there's a snarky comment, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't actually think that I have it here, which is too bad because I should have retweeted that. Let me go find CoolAJ6 and ULID. Here we go. This would be the article to read on that. UUID versus ULID. But essentially, there's a number, if you follow this thread, because I make some assertions in my typical AJ makes specific and poignant assertion fashion, and then somebody came back and said, well, actually, you're wrong. And then he linked to some articles, and it turns out it was really cool. Really, really good information. And there's even more good information, but where did it go? Let's see. He linked to this one. Okay, there we go. This is good. And then this is good. Okay, so all these things. It's really, really hard. There we go. And this one. So let me link to this right here. So this talks about pros and cons of UUIDs as well. For primary keys. So there's stuff that I didn't know, and I'm really grateful that he argued with me, if you could call it that, educated me, whatever, disagreed with me with better information than what I had. Okay, so Node 10 and up, that's great. It's currently bundled for web. I kind of like what he's got going on here, so I'm going to go check this out. because I might prefer this one. I mean, it's good when something hasn't been updated. That usually means that it is complete. But now it's funny because this appears to be the ULID organization. So the fact that he's claiming that there's compatibility issues. It's maintainers not available in web workers, random bias, generate time, blah, 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 blah. License violation. Huh. You just violated your MIT license by changing it to AGPL. The spec is GPL license. That doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so this is just bickering. That's not important. I mean, it could be important. So I'm going to give this one a try just because this looks a lot simpler. So I'm going to go with it. Of course, the other question is, do I trust this dude? Who is he? Does he look reputable? Oh, he's Finnish. Yeah, he's going to be a cool guy. Wait, no, he's Aussie? What? Make up your mind. Are you Aussie or are you Finnish? Cool. Oh, I wonder where this stuff comes from. I ought to check out that for my own profile. I don't, just some of those things. Let's see. Is he part of anything that I know of? No. I'm going to go ahead and follow him. But he looks legit. Ha! Odorless, tasteless, Node.js crypto library that dissolves instantly in liquid. That's wonderful. Cool. So I guess I'm just going to npm install this. And which one am I in? This one over here. And another good thing about this is that it's going to be equally just as compatible in MySQL and in Postgres, which I think is actually a nice benefit to it. Because the way that I've been doing the UUIDs with this connects.raw, it actually isn't beneficial. And I think we want to make sure this is not nullable. I don't think a primary key can be nullable, so maybe that's redundant. But this is going to be string. And then what is the length of these strings? They have a specific length. I think it is always this length. Let's see. It's always a certain number of bits. So ULA, sorry, I never even really explained. Yes, I will. Sorry, I never really explained it. I'm just going on and ranting. So they're shorter, which means they take up less memory in the index if you have lots of writes. They also they're partially time-based and partially random, which means that they index better. So if something is purely random, then the indexes get really screwed up as a primary key under certain indexing strategies. So particularly in MySQL, it's really bad. And then they are case insensitive, which tomato, potato. But they make good internal IDs, good external IDs, easy to, because they're case insensitive, you don't have to worry about that. And they have both a monotonic or time-based component and a random component. Okay. So sorry. Hopefully that was a reasonable explanation as to why I'm doing this. So let's see, node.length 26. Okay. So they are 26. I think it is base 32. And the fact that it's not case sensitive actually turns out to be kind of important for a database where strings are generally considered to be not case sensitive. Okay. And then you can use prefixes such as the underscore for them. So there's the articles explain it pretty well that I linked to. All right, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to swap these other things over sometime in the future-ish. npm install. Yeah, I did run that? I did run that. Okay, so now what if I just do, actually what happens if I run npx ulidx? ULID? Nope. So require ulidx. What do we get out of that? .ulid. That didn't seem to work as well as I was expecting it to. All right, I must have missed something. Maybe I need to go back to the other one. Because it said it was compatible to node 10 or something, didn't it? Did I do the wrong thing? ULIDX. ULIDX. .ulid. I don't understand. I guess I'll go back to the other one then. Doot. Let me just go ahead and give him the skinny here. ULIDX dot ULID. ULID dash npm install save ULIDX. And then let's get that error message out of here. Whoops, was this one over here? And actually, let's go ahead and just knock that down to app. So we don't have a bunch of my stuff stuck in there. Okay, let's see if the other one works. Otherwise, I'll have to create a fork, which I'm not going to do tonight. But let's do the old tried and true, I guess. Okay, cool. So that works. All right, we're going with this one. Problem solved. So you'll notice when I look over here occasionally, that's because I'm trying to make sure that I'm not missing out on comments. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm ready to do that. And we're going to have purchase is going to be a string 26. And I guess, let's see, when a payment comes in, will we know what purchase it belongs to? Maybe. I don't think there's an order webhook event that gets fired when you activate a subscription. I think it goes straight from activating the subscription to a payment event. So we're going to figure out how, when we get a payment event, how are we going to associate it with a purchase? One of the reasons I need the purchase table is because we need the ability for a purchase to be pending. So the purchase can be approved and pending, or it can be complete, or it could be, let's see, status could be approved, which is pending. I guess we could just call it pending. Complete, approved, / authorized, paid, and revoked. It's got a chargeback. Okay. So purchase should definitely have a user associated with it. I've got some things that are duplicated here, and I'm going to have to figure out what they really ought to be. But I also think I'm going to have to figure out what to do about gosh. I guess I'm just going to have duplicate ideas until I figure this out, and then I'll normalize it a little bit better. So obviously not everything related to a purchase should have product and user and payment and subscription. There should be a directed graph where it's clear which direction it goes in, but it's still a little bit muddled in my head. All right, so I'm also thinking we could have a revoked at. Oh, we don't have any revokes in here? Huh. That's all right. So this one can be nullable, and it should default to null, which is going to be the default. And I think that that's clear enough on its own, so I'm not going to have that. Made explicit. Okay. I think this one is the one I'm going to get rid of. Purchase. Okay, and payment service. I don't need to worry about that for this one. Payment goes through payment service. Okay, we only need to link these in one direction. Either we're going to link, okay, user creates a purchase when, let me write this down. A purchase is created when an order is approved or a subscription is activated. This means that an authorization took place. It is complete when the payment is captured. Okay, I think that's the right way to go about it. Okay. So when a payment comes in, I need to link it to a purchase. Let's think of it this way. A purchase can have multiple payments. Or are they one-to-one? Because if there's a subscription, let's say, I'm going to purchase a year of X. So I'm going to purchase a year of a product. So I might have a started at and then a start at, end at. Or start at and duration. I guess start at could be created at. That's the same thing. Well, I guess technically it could be different, but I'm just going to leave it for now because they're going to always add more columns later. Okay. Can a purchase be for more than one product? No. There's a one-to-one relationship between purchases and products. So which owns which? A product can be purchased multiple times, which means that a product can have many purchases. So that's why this one goes here. A user can have many purchases. Okay, but then what about payments again? Where does which direction does payment go? What did I just say? Didn't I just say something about payments? That's a one-to-one. One payment for one purchase. So which owns which? Purchase is going to happen first. Well, maybe not. Maybe we should have the start at date. Trying to think about this. Bless me. Because I might want to create a purchase when I create the order or when I create the subscription, and then activate or put it in a pending state. An order or subscription is created. Pending when an order or subscription is approved. Oops. Authorized, activated. Okay. And complete once the payment is captured. So it's possible for it to jump from created to complete and not need to be updated to pending. Okay, and I know why payment belongs here. A payment can affect a balance so really, payment can affect a balance purchase to correct a balance. Okay, so this is the reason that payment FK belongs here, is that a purchase could be tied directly to a payment, but a payment could just be made to affect a balance. So there may not be a relationship between the two, but there might be. And I'm not really, I guess I'm not 100% certain which way it should go. It almost seems that it actually should be the other way, that if a payment comes in and we know that a payment is for a particular product, then we pay for that product. But okay, let's look at it this way. A payment could be large and cover multiple products potentially. I don't think we want to handle that case, but just thinking, about the universe of how this could be used. So one payment could apply to multiple products. A payment could apply to multiple products or none. A purchase could be deducted from an account balance. I don't really want to have to go into that case. That's going to be so frustrating, but I think I will eventually. So payment could apply to multiple products or none. So in this case, it really does seem that it doesn't make sense for purchase to be here. It doesn't make sense for product to be here. Let's see. I'm going to drop them in that order. Also, we got to consider the dependency in the table. Can we create one table before another? Can we drop one table before another? So if we have it this way, then purchases is dependent on product, user, and payment. Purchase dependent on product and payment, which means that neither product nor payment can be dependent on purchase. Okay, so let's go take a look at product. Let's take a look at payment. Yeah, payment cannot be dependent on purchase. So we can't have mutual dependencies. Okay, that helps solve that part of the problem. Gosh. Oh, and then this needs to have an amount to it as well. So this would be the price. Or would this be... There's specific terminology. Price is what the user is willing to pay. No, that's the cost. The cost is what the... Price is what the user is willing to pay. Cost is the tangible value of the asset. So a product has a cost, a purchase has a price. Okay. Oops. Whereas. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is tough for me to think through this. This is there's a lot of different things that I've thought through over the years, but I've never really tackled what all is involved in the payment system. So I know I'm stumbling a ton, and it's kind of embarrassing because I consider myself to be a rather seasoned developer, and it's quite stupid that I haven't been dealing directly with payments. I've been dealing with libraries and system code and API, and but this is something where I have to think a lot about it, and I don't know that I even have the head for it tonight. I was thinking I'd come make this table and then wire it up to a couple of events and be done. But I just don't have the experience to make the right choices on the first go. Okay. So let's take a look at let's get all the way back to order. Okay, so if a person orders a product, I think it kind of makes sense to say that a purchase could be related to a plan. The plan doesn't have to have a recurring element to it. So let me go back to the database again. Let's look at purchase again. So maybe I don't know, is it related to, what's the right way to look at this? Because I like directed graphs. I like things to flow in one direction, not spider web. No mutual dependencies. Would it be fair to say that a person purchases a plan and they can purchase that plan over and over and over again, which is what a subscription is? I don't know. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it as is for now. In fact, I don't normally give up in the middle of things, but I'm kind of the mind to say I need to sleep on this another night and come back to it. I think I'll go a little bit further, but I'm obviously not going to get through this in the way that I was at first thinking. Because I thought, oh yeah, I've thought about this some more. I understand it better now. I know what to do. But, I'm wrong. It's that simple. Okay, I'm going to go to the top here and add let ul id equal require ul id. Oh, dot ULID. And I do want to check again real quick. Require, let's see, let. Okay, good. So the random component seems to be working out quite well, except it ends in J a lot. That may just have something to do with the encoding. Or maybe, no, it just randomly happened to end in J a number of times. The beginning is always the same because it's time-based. So we can see up to the H. So we can see the time ticking. K, M, M, N, N, P, Q, so on and so forth. So that's time ticking. And there might even be another couple elements of this that represent milliseconds. My guess is this represents seconds, or maybe a combination of seconds and milliseconds. And then these might be milliseconds, but then at some point it's just random, and I don't remember what those numbers are. Anyway, that looks great. I'm excited to switch over to ULIDs. Okay. All right, so we want to get a plan. Wait, where's the price on this? What? Did I forget to put the price in this? I think I did. Then I must have, in my tests, I must have had that working. Product. Whoops. Is this the right one? Create. Request. Yeah, purchase units. There we go. Those are required. That is non-optional. And we get that from, I think, the plan. The product in of itself does not have a price. It has a price through a plan. Because the plan is saying quantity and yada yada, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to put this at -1 because I'm going to map it. I know this seems silly, but this is kind of a documentation thing almost for me. PU. There we go, 1 plus I. Okay. So I think I'm going to go in my seed data. Is it seed? Or is it here? Seed. Somewhere I had some seeds. Data? Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's take a look at the plans again. Okay, let's take a look at the product. Product. Product does not have price information. Plan has price information. Okay. So plan has a price. And let's see here. Does this relate to product FK? So plan has a product FK. And so I think we should create a purchase here. Purchase.create. And we don't necessarily know much yet. What we do know, we might know the user FK. Rec.user.sub. We might know that. We might not. We will know the plan ID for certain. And from the plan ID, we should have the product FK. Okay. And we should know, yeah, I think the plan information is going to be important. We kind of want to crystallize as much of this as possible. So price is going to be plan dot, let me go back and take a look at that. Plan dot price. Okay, yeah. And then currency code. It's going to be plan dot currency code. And then this does make sense that we could modify a purchase. We could retroactively give somebody a discount, for example. Yeah, because it seems that it would be perfectly reasonable that if they had a discount code that could apply to a plan, they could get so much money off. To do one day, a discount code could be applied here. So it could be applied at the time of purchase. Okay. I'm thinking of this as an individual order or individual purchase, not as a complete order. But I don't want to think about that stuff yet because it's too deep. It's not where what I'm intending to do yet. All right, how to define front-end rejector if there are many. Okay, that's something I don't want to worry about right now. Okay. All right, so purchase. Okay, so we're custom ID should be purchase .ulid. Okay, description should probably have to do with the plan. Probably be plan.comment. Might want to call that plan.description. Okay. All right, so this would be plan.currency code and to do allow discount. This should actually be I guess we wouldn't actually need anything from this. So we would just say, okay, here's what a purchase equals. And it's going to be ULID. Where's my ULID? Right there. So the create is either going to succeed or fail. And then I guess I could just reap purchases that are missing. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here as a comment. To do reap purchases with no user and no payment after in days. So that way, if somebody just puts something in their shopping cart and they're not signed in, then we just say, forget about it, you know? Okay, what is this saying? 314 down here. It doesn't like a token way down here. All right, so plan dot. So this would actually be purchase dot price and purchase dot currency code because we may have applied a discount or something. So that would be what that is. Okay, cool. So I think this is pretty darn good, actually. And I actually will duplicate plan and product for the time being into here, because this is more of a log than it is meant to be denormalized. This is more of a history of what were the values related to this plan and this product at this time. Because we might change the price of the plan, we might change some details about the product. We might keep the plan but attach a different product to it. Everybody could get their plan upgraded to, basically you're on this plan and you get, salted peanuts V1 for the first 6 months every month. And then we upgrade the plan to salted peanuts V2. And it's the same plan, but a different product, a different model of the product. Might be a good way to say it. Again, I'm thinking about this a little too much because this is not a problem that I have. You shouldn't think about problems you don't have because they're going to lead to you making poor choices. You should delay until you have the problem before you start planning for it. But again, it's a new space for me. I'm thinking, oops. That's not the one I wanted either. Let me go back to the database. I'm just kind of thinking around it, and I'm taking a little bit longer than usual to arrive at a really productive answer. I don't know. Is the plan necessary? I don't think the plan is necessary. Okay, I'm doubling back on this again. No, it is. I'm gonna. Plan is used to purchase a product. Product. All right. So we put plan FK, product FK, user FK. And then if rec.user purchase.user FK equals, because we don't want to pass undefined. Oh, wait. Here's what I can do there. I can do this or null. It's going to have a price. The other things it's going to have for certain. Okay. Now I feel better about that. So now this order can go through. The custom ID is the purchase. And then wait, was purchase unit, was it a request ID on the purchase unit? I thought it was something else. Let me go check my own documentation for that. Okay. Yeah, request ID, I should put a comment there, but request ID in this case, it really is just an index. So that if you wanted to update, if you have an order with multiple purchase units, then you could go update a single purchase unit within the order based on its request ID. Custom ID is for you to use for yourself. Description, soft descriptor is what shows up on the credit card charge. Description is what shows up in the interface. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all good then. So now what I need to do is go back to my own documentation. Let's go take a look at the buttons. Is there a subscribe? Buy now. Oh, where'd the buttons go? Buttons. Smart payment buttons. It seems there ought to be a subscribe button. I want to subscribe with PayPal button. I don't know. I'm gonna try one more thing. Subscribe with PayPal. Images. So let's think about another way to go around that then. What if we do in here where we have the PayPal, we've got checkout with PayPal. What if we do we'll do a list item. And it will be an input type equals radio, right? Name is going to be plan. And then one time versus subscribe. And we'll have subscribe checked. Let's just take a look and see what that looks like real quick. Interesting. Code must be bad. Let's do this. npx base tag link. Because Vim, or not Vim, npm likes to delete okay, I need to save a JavaScript file to cause it to reboot itself. There we go. npm likes to delete the base tag link. All right, and then what we could do, let me go back in here. I really would like the li to not have any decoration if we're going to do it this way. Maybe I don't need an li. Maybe I can just get rid of that entirely and just have br. But what I do want to have happen is on click equals, and then we want to put settings dot pay once set purchase set subscribe. Maybe it's going to be false, and this other one we'll do set subscribe. It's going to be true. Maybe that ought to be on change rather than on click. And then it would be window.event that's being passed in. Or we could just shorten that to event. And this is where you got to be careful about property versus attribute, because the attribute checked is always going to be true for this one, I think, because it's in the HTML. But the property checked is going to be true for whichever one is active. I think that's how it works. So I'm going to, well, actually I need to go down here and see what we got. So I don't have anything about payments yet. I should, but I don't, and that's okay. So I'm just going to go into settings here, and we're going to create a set subscribe, and it's going to have ev dot. We don't really want to prevent default or stop propagation, I don't think. We just want to find the target. I think we want parent element. So we want to get target's name. And then we want to get the parent. No, what do we want to find? Oh, we need to set the value. That's what it is. So we want query selector all. No, just query selector. And we want to find type equals radio. Name equals name. Checked. I think, well, that's what it ends up being. Dot value. And then if subscribe is equal to value, then we want to grab pay URL. Let's see. Let me go take a look back at this again. Data, subscribe, href. Well, maybe we just leave it like that. So this we need something. So this would be data checkout maybe? Let's try that. Data checkout dot href equals else. We'll do the order. That seems to be reasonable enough. Oh, so here's the moment of truth with the front end bit. Whoops. And after this, I am just going to, I don't even think I'm going to whip it. I think I'm just going to head off to bed. Sleep on it. Listen to some Jurassic Park. Go to bed. And then rethink it in the morning. Okay, so okay. Ah, there we go. This is it. There's the checked selector. So I need to go add a value to this real quick. So it won't be checked like that. It'll be checked like this. And would it be parent element? Okay, I've got that then. If subscribe is equal to value, data checkout. But this would not be parent element. It would be closest form. Okay. So here value should be subscribe, and here value should be not subscribe. Order. Oh, whoops. These need to be flippy flopped. Okay, let's see if this will work when I refresh the page. I see somebody just came in. Hello, I'm AJ. Who are you? What brings you to the channel today? What are you interested in? Okay. All right, so maybe values. No, I don't want that. Value. Wait, there should only be one checked, right? Oh, then I should select only one. There we go. It's not what I expected. Let's try this one more time. No. Did I not save? Okay, that one's subscribe and the other one's on. These both have a value. Bob is my witness. All right, that's subscribe. And if we go to one time, no, dang it. Ah. Okay. I forget how you do this. This is one of those things I need to put in a cheat sheet because I get it wrong all the time and I have to go search how you do this because it's one of those weird things. It's property versus attribute. Okay. Query selector checked radio. Let's see. Query selector. Yep, bad tutorial. Let's see. Well, that's not working out for me. Let's see. Input radio group. I'm pretty sure when the type is radio, the name makes the group. Name drone, name drone, name drone, name drone. Yep, that's right. If somebody else knows, let me know, because I run into this one from time to time because it's one of those ones that's just difficult to remember and to get right. Okay, because by all accounts, if this is checked, it should count as checked. On change. I should be able to select the one that's checked. If I switch over, this is wrong. Maybe it's dot prop. Get attribute. Maybe just get property. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Let me go back to one of the previous ones. Check if input radio is selected. I don't want jQuery, I want DOM. This is so sad. But it is only 2021. We've only been doing the web for a couple of decades. We can't expect the checkboxes to properly report their status. Oh, the other thing is, am I even on the right page here? Let me refresh this. Make sure my console is on the right page. Okay, so get attribute is reading from the HTML. Dot checked should be reading from, okay, good. So dot checked is reading from the DOM. So maybe, okay, I don't know what was wrong. Maybe it just needed a refresh. Maybe I had an old something or other open. This is now appearing to give me the correct value. So I think that whatever problem I was having may have just been a matter of, I don't know, ghost in the machine. All right, so let's do data checkout again. Sweet. All right, so this is changing as it should. Excellent. I'm happy about that. All right, I think think I'm going to make an ad hoc backup of all this. And call it good enough for now. So I'll go ahead and click the checkout. Oh, and of course we're going to have an error because rec.user.sub. And we're also going to have an error because we don't have a purchase.create function yet. So I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. I'm going to say, I'm going to create, here's my short list and my don't forget. My short list is going to be create purchase.create. And update purchases table on activated, approved, paid. Yeah, that's going to be my short list for tomorrow. So sorry this didn't end in any big hurrahs, great accomplishment. There's kind of a lot of little things, but even with a little Mountain Dew left, I just got to get to bed. I got to get my Z's. So thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. I will go ahead, and for those of you that are newcomers, if there be any, I'll go ahead and link you to the Discord. If you want to join in the Discord, feel free to join in. I'll give you that link right now. Like if you liked, thumbs down if you didn't. But if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. And I don't know, tagline stuff, doobly-doo, subscribe. You know the drill. You have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will catch you later. Feel free to hit me up with additional comments, questions, all that down in the doobly-doo once the stream ends if you feel so inclined. Adios.